Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. I have another Ward 5 council candidate to introduce you to. Rana Zia is his name. I met him at the Malton meet and greet with other candidates. Very impressive young man, very articulate, very passionate about Malton and Ward 5, and he kept on making the argument. He's one of the only, if not the only people from Malton that's running. Rana, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Brian. It's nice to be here. You're a great guy. Thank you so much for hosting me. First time for me, so doing anything like this, it's great.
So why are you running? You're a young guy. You've just graduated from university. Why are you running?
Well, Brian, as you said earlier, I'm gonna keep beating on that argument. Look, I'm the only guy from Malton, and there's an issue here with the people. They feel forgotten about. They feel left behind, and it's not just in Malton. It's on the Britannia Woods side of the neighborhood. The people of this ward, they feel like they've been forgotten about. They feel used. They feel like that people are jumping in here from other localities, and they're trying to use us to further their careers in politics, and we don't think that's good enough.
How are you going to change that?
By winning. That's the plan. Look, as the only person from Malton, I know what this community needs. I've lived here my whole life. I know what this ward needs. As I've spoken to you about earlier when we met, look, we have the airport that cuts us off from the rest of Mississauga. And yeah, there are benefits to it, but there are cons to it, and there's a lot of cons. It takes us 40 minutes to get to City Hall. That's not good enough. We need money. We need better infrastructure here, and I'm going to fight for that.
What else are you going to fight for? What do you think the priorities are for Malton? You say you know the community well. What do you think it needs?
Well, look, there's a lot of problems here that they're not facing in other parts of the city. Per capita, the people are making much less here. I think it's about 54,000 is the number that I've heard for the city of Mississauga, and over in Malton, it's 32,000. And you think about it, it's like, wow, that's a big difference. I mean, you're the numbers guy, right? But what is that, like about 40%? That's nuts. I mean, yeah, we have the airport and stuff, but it doesn't cut us off in a way where we're secluded to the point where people should be making no money here, right? We need to find out what the issue is. We need to work with the government and the city to make sure that that number goes up and people are doing better. They're having a better standard of living.
So you're cut off from the rest of the city. You don't have great transit. We've got better transit in the south end of Mississauga.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have a lot of the infrastructure. You don't have a lot of the support. Why is that? For the last 10 years, you've been represented by the longest serving councillor on council. She's now the leading candidate to become mayor. Before that, you had another candidate, another councillor that ended up becoming mayor. You've had very senior politicians, very senior and seasoned politicians representing Ward 5 in city council, and yet you feel neglected. So why? Why hasn't it worked?
Look, obviously speaking, I mean, if these people are winning over and over again, they're doing something right. But at the same time, the message I've received, and you know what the election numbers are like, people don't come out and vote. A lot of people want change, but they feel so neglected, and it's to the point where they just decide not to come. I think, as I mentioned earlier, we keep getting people from other parts of the city, other cities coming in, right? I don't know where the past councillors were raised and born, but I know it was in Mississauga, right? I've looked at their Wikipedia pages. I've done my research. I don't think it's fair that people are coming from other wards and other cities to try to represent us when they don't understand the needs of our community. We have a very diverse community with very diverse needs. I think what we need now is somebody who's local to the community, someone who knows Britannia Woods, someone who knows Malton, and someone who can lead this ward into a better light.
The two leading candidates in Ward 5, I think, are of a similar bent, are they not? They're people that are very involved in politics and partisan politics, and one of them has been a long-term employee of one of the former councillors. So is that what Malton needs?
Well, so I've heard. Look, I think what Malton needs, or what both sides of Ward 5 need, is somebody who's nonpartisan, because we can't go to City Hall and engage in partisan politics. I mean, partisan politics does not work at the city level. I don't think it works at the federal and provincial level either, because if there's infighting, you're not gonna do what's right. You're gonna do what your party wants. But yeah, as I'm saying, in city politics, we don't need partisan politics. We need people who are going to do what's right. They're not going to be like, hey, we're liberal red, so let's do what our party wants, or we're conservative blue, and let's do what our party wants. We should do what's best for our people. And if that's not popular with our party, that doesn't matter. I'm nonpartisan. I have no issue going against what one party says or what the other party says. If someone comes to me tomorrow and I win and they say, join my party, no, thank you. I'm here for the people, by the people.
I think that you speak truth. I think that Ward 5 and Mississauga has had some senior politicians that have been very partisan, interested more in in other offices and haven't necessarily done the right thing for their constituents. And so I congratulate you on your candidacy. Youth engagement is very low. You know, the turnout in
Absolutely.
the last election was something like 21%. I think it was 11% in Ward 5, and it may have been 5% for the people under the age of 30. How are you going to motivate young people to get involved and to come out?
Well, we've seen the numbers at the Civic Center. I don't remember exactly, maybe you know off the top of your head, but I believe it was up, what, 200% or something like that, the numbers at the Civic Center for early voting. And I think that's a testament of people like you, right? People who are not involved in politics, but who come in with new ideas. There's guys like George Tavares. There's people like me in my ward. I'm running for councillor, obviously, but like people like us who are coming in with fresh ideas, who aren't in the political landscape, who aren't in the political scene, who have new ideas and who want to breathe a breath of fresh air. Obviously, I'm younger. I have a bit more of a reach with the youth. As we spoke about earlier, I'm great with social media. We're doing a great job. We're averaging more views on social media than any of the mayoral candidates, let alone the candidates for city council. We're averaging about 4,000 views per video that we put out. I think the closest to us is one of the mayor candidates. She's averaging about 1,500. So I mean, we're more than doubling that, right? That's how we're gonna get the youth to come out. I had one of my friends, one of my buddies, he got into an inflatable dinosaur costume. We put it on YouTube, we put it on Instagram, we put it on TikTok. He was at the corner of Ceremonial Drive and he was just standing there with one of my pamphlets, or sorry, one of my signs, my lawn signs. And he was giving it a nice little twirl and people got a real kick out of it. So I think that's how we're gonna get the youth to come out.
Awesome. Fantastic. What do we need to do to make Mississauga a city that you and your friends want to live in and want to work in and want to raise a family in?
Well, I think it's simple. It's two things. We got to bring costs down and we got to bring crime down, right? And obviously it's easier said than done, but simply speaking, like to put in simple words, that's how we're going to do it. We gotta fight for things that we can lower. We got to work with the provincial government, the federal government, whatever they can do to combat inflation, property taxes, home prices, build more homes. Obviously, that's a big issue right now. We need to make sure we cut the red tape, things like that. As for crime, we need to make sure that we're working with our local police precincts, and we're making sure that they're allocating money to the right divisions so that they can fight the correct type of crime that's going on. One of the big ones that's taking place here in Malton or in Britannia Woods is actually car theft. And that's been a big deal all around Ontario. But I think if we work to allocate more money towards Peel Police's auto crimes division, we can hopefully try to bring that down somehow.
You know, I really appreciate the opportunity to meet you and chat with you. You really impressed the heck out of me when I saw you speak at that Malton debate. When we had a drink afterwards and we chatted a bit further, you had tea, I had a drink, and now you're very articulate. I think you could inspire some young people to get involved, to get out and vote. And I think you're right. I think you're really right that what Malton needs, what Ward 5 needs, is someone that's from the community, that's going to represent the people. And you know, the past strategies of electing someone that's got a big name, it's got big aspirations and other ideas, and maybe more power, hasn't actually helped you. So maybe what you need is someone grassroots, someone that's going to really believe in you and work for you, rather than necessarily the big name. Really appreciate you coming on our show.
Thank you so much, Brian. No, it was great here. Look, I think guys like you who do shows like these, it's a great way for guys like me who don't have much a big name in the political landscape. It's a great way for me to get out there. And I appreciate you taking not just me, but I know that you took on all of the mayor candidates and you gave them a debate and you gave them a voice, because as you know, CBC and CP24, the big mainstream media, they're not putting these people on, they're not giving them a voice. So thank you so much, Brian. From people like me, constituents of Mississauga, we appreciate that you're giving people a voice. I appreciate that.
Do you have a website that people should go to check you out?
So we're a bit new school. We're not old school. We're on Instagram and TikTok. That's where we're doing our thing. We're trying to engage the youth, and it's working great. So yeah,
Instagram's the place to go. What's your Instagram handle?
my Instagram is Rana Zia Ward 5. I don't know how it works on the news, but for those of you listening, it's just my name, RANAZIA, and then Ward 5, WARD 5, the number 5. So
And
yeah.
same thing on TikTok?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Really appreciate you joining us. Thanks very much, and good luck on June 10th.
Thank you so much, Brian. It was lovely meeting you.
We're going to take a break and come back with another council candidate in just 2 minutes. Stay with us, everybody.